Morning, Glenn. Who needs an alarm when we've got you? Honestly, on the next VCs, you should scream, wake up.
Wake up! Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to SMG Viewers Comments, my weekly show where I try and help you guys to the best of my ability with your comments and questions about recording, being in a band, and all that cool stuff. Coming up later in the episode, it's the last 2 days for the Pro Mix Academy Summer Insanity Sale. Definitely recommend checking that out, especially if you want to get your hands on the Ultimate Reaper Guide and Guitar Tone Master Cuts. Are all bundled in the Ultimate Rock Mixing Bundle, including a Motorhead song as well. And that sale only comes up once a year. More on that a little bit later. Anyway, let's get right to it.
Glenn, I literally cannot find a video from you that didn't answer studio related. If I were around in the 90s, I would have killed for this info. Thank you so much. And now I'm off to start recording. Greetings from a 16-year-old loser from New York.
Well, you're very welcome. And that's coming from a 50-year-old loser here in Canada. Here's the thing they never tell you guys is that there's way more losers than winners. Most of us out there are not working at the top level for the big league major label projects because they've already got people to do that and they're very, very comfortable working with those people. Most of us out there are going to be working with the local garage bands and dealing with that and all the ins and outs that go with recording that level of bands, i.e. meaning you're going to be teaching people how to play their instruments. That's who this show is for. If you are a chart-topping platinum producer, chances are you don't need this show. But if you're just starting out or you're working in your bedroom, your basement, doing the project studio thing, this is exactly the show for you. Stay tuned.
Glenn, headphones are superior for mixing because they reduce the complaining girlfriend frequency by about 6 dBs.
Is that true, Stacy? Let's be honest here. How many of you guys out there even have girlfriends? Hold on a second here. How many of you guys have ever even kissed a girl? And I'm not talking about family members either. I mean an actual willing member of the opposite sex that you're not related to. Yeah, that's what I thought. So in that case, stick the mixing on monitors. It's just gonna work better.
Hey Glenn, been watching your channel for a few years. Most of my questions got answered, though other members and your own initiatives and videos. Here's my question. How do I know the room acoustics are getting in the way of my mix decisions? Thanks, Ahmad.
Simple. Take your mixes out of your mix position and into the real world. Play them on a car stereo. Play them on a portable radio like a boombox or something. Play them on your home stereo. If you're hearing a massive shift between what you're hearing in your control room position or your mix position versus on those systems, you, my friend, have an acoustics problem. Fortunately, you can build some DIY acoustic treatment for reasonable prices. Check out my video on how to make your own bass traps, and that will open your eyes quite a bit. I put a bunch of them in my drum room, and I really tightened up the low end on the drums and the guitar amps and that kind of thing. I'm really glad I did that. I was struggling there with my low end for a very long time until I put those in, and it's just suddenly it vanished. It's not that hard to do. You just got to be willing to put in the work. Anyway, good luck to you, Ahmad. Thanks for writing it.
Hey man, keep up the good work. I have a question. I am currently 16 years old and I want to be a recording engineer like you, but I have no idea what to do because there is no one to guide me here, and where I'm from there are little to no good sound engineering colleges, and I have no clue on what the online course I should take. Please see this and help me because I have no clue what the heck I'm supposed to do after 12TU.
I'm guessing that 12TU is maybe your last year of high school? I don't know, somebody help me out here. All right, my suggestion would be head on over and check out the Pro Mix Academy Summer Insanity Sale. It's only going to be on sale for 2 more days, today and tomorrow, and then you won't see it again till next year. So grab the Ultimate Rock Mixing Bundle because you can get the Motorhead lesson. You can get Guitar Tone Mastery. For all you guys working with amp sims, it is the course to get. I've actually gone through it twice. It's so good. You can also get Total Heavy Guitar for all you guys working on real amps, that kind of thing. And of course, the Ultimate Reaper Guide is in there as well. There's an Aquabats track in there to mix. That one's a lot of fun. The track's called Super Rad. I've done that. That's been great. I believe Galacticon's on there as well. That's Brendan Small, the guy who did Death Clock. Yeah, that's really awesome. Ulrich Wild teaches that. There's 30 courses in there and it's only going for $197, and the sale's going to last today and tomorrow. So grab it now while you can. And if you're feeling exceptionally brave, grab the Everything Bundle, and that's all the Pro Mix Academy courses. Definitely a cool deal, and that's where I'd recommend starting out. Oh, and by the way, if you grab one of those Pro Mix Academy lessons, you get access to my premium Discord where I check your mixes out personally, and we have a little bit of back and forth. And yes, I'm starting that up again because I've been lagging on that just ever so slightly, trying to do content here for you guys. So I am going to be bringing that back because I want to hear your mixes, especially the stuff you're working with from Pro Mix Academy. So grab a bundle, and I hope to see you in there.
Wow, Glenn, your story here. First of all, your honesty and vulnerability in telling your story here are amazing. I don't think anyone can watch this and not have even more respect for you. Your tenacity and determination are incredible, and I believe you do a real service with this channel. It's clear you really care about your audience.
Well, thank you, Peter. I really appreciate that. However, of course, we always have an opposite opinion to that, and that's this week's Butthurt of the Week.
This is terrible advice. Like, if you want to work as an audio engineer and make gainful income and have business connections and a leg up in the real world, there are plenty of schools out there that cost way less than $100K for a great education and our certification than Yelling Man Straw Man here.
Of course, you're referencing my video, The Truth About Recording School. Here's the thing, my friend. Those are screenshots from those schools' actual fucking websites. You think I pulled those numbers out of my ass? That's what they fucking charge. Duh! I also stated that I much prefer somebody goes to somewhere like OER, which will cost you about $26,000 US, not $82 fucking thousand. Was I not fucking clear? Didn't I say that in plain fucking English? I'm sorry I made that too fucking cryptic for you to understand. Thing is, there are some great recording schools out there that won't just accept anybody. They will screen people and not just hand a diploma to anybody like, as Henning Pauly said, the SAE will do. And that's the thing. Go to a fucking actual school, not a diploma factory. Do a little bit of homework. That's what I was encouraging people to do. I'm sorry that subtle metaphor was missed by you. I'm sorry I made that too fucking difficult to understand. Here I thought you were smart.
I can tell why people hate so much on your vids. Critical thinking is hard to swallow for the most part, but sometimes we need to consider the fact that we may be wrong. Not 100% agree with you all the time, but most definitely like your way of thinking. Cheers.
Well, hey, dude, thanks. I really appreciate that. Here's the thing. We are allowed to have different opinions from one another. I understand that goes against a lot of social media groupthink, both on the left and the right, but I tend to prefer to think for myself, and I've got no problem sharing those opinions. But I always encourage people to do this. If you take a look at some of my tests and you don't agree with my findings, please, by all means, make a better test. Because the only thing that beats science is better science, not bullshit. I know I ruffled a lot of feathers with my tube test video, so I'm going to follow that up with an even better test. We did the same thing years ago when this channel started with the Is the Sound Really in the Hands video. And when it comes to metal tone, no, it's definitely not in the hands. Anybody tells you otherwise is fucking lying or have never actually done a real test. Anyway, point being is, feel free to disagree, but as always, back your claims with evidence, not nonsense. There's too much of that in the world already.
I've been unsure about Harley Benton's, but I can easily imagine that at a decent price range, you get a pretty good instrument. I'm wondering, what is the situation with Chapman Guitars at this point? Do you have any experience? I'm having an itch for an ML3 Abyss, but I'm not sure about the quality control.
Well, I absolutely love my Harley Benton Amrocks. I think they're phenomenal guitars, especially for the price point that they're charging. EMGs, locking tuners, hipshot style bridges. Yeah, they're absolutely great. Did I get the best model they could possibly find? I would think so. That's my suspicion anyway. I really want to order one of those guitars and have it sent to my buddy's house, so that way they don't know it's me, just so we can see the quality that the average user gets. I think that would be a very interesting video. As for Chapman, I got this Ghost Fret a few years back. This thing's phenomenal, but this was, a few years back before, they started having quality control issues. I've heard it from some other YouTubers. I know that's been a big thing as of late. I hope Chapman gets their shit together. I've never played one of their guitars that I disliked, but that's just me. And nobody is paying me to say that either. But then again, I haven't picked up one of the recent models, so I can't say for certain one way or another. This thing is an earlier version of the Ghost Fret, and it came with the Seymour Duncans, and yeah, this guitar just absolutely rips. The only change I made was I put a little bit of skateboard tape here, so the guitar doesn't slide down my leg. And I got the idea to add this stuff from you guys. That was some viewer suggestions there. So I really do appreciate that. Yeah, because the finish on this thing is really slick, and it used to just be insane to try and play. But yeah, just an absolutely great guitar, great balance. Just love the feel of this thing. Absolutely phenomenal. Again, these days your mileage may vary. I would definitely recommend trying a couple out. I know Guitar Center deals in them. Maybe go into a shop, check it out. Or if you're going to mail order, make sure there's some kind of money back guarantee before you sign on the dotted line. That I'm unsure about. If somebody knows about Chapman's refund policy, especially if you're like in North America, that kind of thing, feel free to share with the class. I'd really appreciate it.
How to make mix louder. All instruments are loud, but final result is quiet. I am beginner at recording.
All right, well, here's a great thing. We all start out knowing not very much at the beginning, and, we just add knowledge. So my suggestion would be go check out a free VST called LoudMax 64 by Thomas Munt. You can just Google that or check out vstforfree.com, and you can find yourself a copy of that. And that's a limiter. You can kind of start using that to make things a little bit louder. They'll kind of like snip off some of the peaks and allow you to raise the overall level. The trick is don't go fucking crazy with it. Use it sparingly. That way your music survives, because you can fuck things up pretty good if you hit it too fucking hard. The other thing is start working with your high pass filters. That is the low frequency roll off. You want to start rolling off a lot of things like, your metal guitars, maybe at about 80, 90 hertz, something like that, maybe a bit higher. Bass guitar, you can probably take it all the way up to 75 hertz. I know that's what a distressor recommends you do. And, because when you don't have all that low end rumble going on, you can push the level up a lot more before things start peaking out and whatnot. The trick is, and this takes a while to get your head around, this is definitely where the 10,000 hours of practice comes into play, is you need to do it with a little bit of finesse, and it's easy to go way too far. Once again, tread lightly with the clipping. But good luck to you, man. I hope you have an amazing time learning how to do this stuff. Take care.
Question regarding number 11, don't edit the guitars. What exactly do you mean by edit here? Are you talking about applying EQ, etc. to the tracks to alter the frequency and tone? Thanks.
Hey, Aaron, when I say don't edit the guitars, I mean don't edit the fucking guitars! Obviously, don't add EQ or compression. Really, leave that for your mix engineer. That's absolutely fine. This is going back on my video about things to do when you're handing off your mixes, that kind of stuff. But it also means don't sit there and time align the living shit out of your guitars and time stretch them and do all that bullshit. Number one, it sounds goofy as fuck. Number two, chances are the guy who's mixing your record is going to want to do that. And if you're unsure, call them up and ask, just to make sure you do that. Now, one thing you can do, especially when it comes to leads and that kind of thing, if you got like, say, 18 takes of a lead guitar, you can comp them together. That means you grab the best bits and make a super take out of all your other takes. Do that because your mix engineer will thank you for that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. Just make sure you do it cleanly and that your edits don't crackle. Make sure you get your little micro fades in place so it does it nicely. So yes, you can do a little bit of editing, like comping, that kind of stuff, but that's about it. The great thing is, now that we've got the cock blocker noise gate in software format, we can edit out all the staccato bits, all the rests on heavy guitar tracks, and have it done automatically because it works with your dry track. And it just cleans everything up, and oh man, does that ever save hours in the editing process. I would have killed for that 20 years ago, I really would have. Anyway, good luck, dude.
I'm in awe over how much Glenn's improved over the handful of years I've been following this channel. And not just as a guitarist, his latest demos sound a lot better to me. Won't lie, I wasn't the biggest fan earlier, but I'm slowly starting to convert. Guess it's never really too late to grow, huh?
Well, that's the thing. You do anything long enough, you're bound to get better at it, myself included. I mean, like, seriously, I can look at videos I did 3-4 years ago and just kind of cringe at some of the mixes I put out. I'm like, fuck, I could have done that so much better these days. That's because you gain knowledge the more you do something. And this is the thing, I'm not, doing YouTube part-time anymore. I'm doing it full-time. This is my job now, thanks to you guys, and I'm very grateful for that. But you can bet I'm out here 14, 16, 18 hours a day working on whatever it is I'm doing. And I've had some help too. I mean, like Jackson Ward's done a lot of the drum recording for me over the last couple of years. It's not to say I still don't record drums here. We had Cam Fleury in here do that demo with the Slate ML2 mics, which are phenomenal. You can check that out. The video is called Axe Effects for Drums, ? And we put some of the Slate mics on there. I was really thrilled with the drum sound we got on that. But again, it all comes to just keeping at it and working on it. The other thing is I'm starting to work with a lot more analog outboard gear, and I think that's having a slightly different effect on my mixes as well. Not to mention, this year, I'm working with the Atom S2V monitors. And I'm really happy with the results these have been giving me. It all comes down to hearing what's coming out of the speakers accurately. And I think with the Atoms, I can really judge what's going on. And believe me, you're not the only guy who said my mixes have improved. I think a lot of it might have to do with those Atoms.
I see that a lot, except many engineers around here I live actually seem to believe that a $2,500 preamp are 10 times better than the $250 ones. One local studio has a YouTube channel, and when the guy is doing a tour video, he explicitly addressed the fact that the Behringer gear in his rack is just for live room monitoring. God forbid he would ever use that band for tracking! Almost as funny as audio professionals geeking out about expensive XLR cables.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing. We did that shootout with those 5 interfaces under $200, and honestly, the Behringer was one of my favorite ones. It was like the UM202 or something like that. Phenomenal little piece of gear. I've still got the what the fuck is this thing here? Can we pull this into the shot? Let's take a look. My little side fill. Here we go. I got my side fill light here. But this is the Ultra Gain ADA 8000. That thing won against some much more expensive converters on a blind shootout on gearsluts.com, much to the surprise of many of the actual gear sluts. Here's the thing, the converters make about that big of a difference in the overall sound of your mixes, especially these days. The technology has definitely matured. Don't get me wrong. That's a Focusrite Redline 16 back there. That thing is absolutely phenomenal, and you can have it when you pry it from my cold, dead hands, but it's also got great routing and a whole bunch of other things. It's super easy to work with. Very, very impressed with that. Unboxed it the other day. I should have a review coming out in a couple weeks. I want to spend a couple months with it and just use it on my day-to-day and see how I like working with it. Point being is, expensive converters aren't the be-all, end-all. You're going to get better results with acoustic treatment and real good monitors. That's where your interest should be in gear, not on the flashy shit.
Excellent info and advice. Volatile minds need to hear these affirmations now and then to remind us to focus on skills and business building and not gear to impress clients. Treating my room and getting great monitors is one of the best investments I have done.
Funny, I just mentioned that. Yeah, I mean, like, this is the thing. I get it. It's not glamorous and shiny lights are nice, but that's not going to improve your sound. You need to hear what's coming out of your monitors. And yes, great monitors and great acoustic treatment is definitely where it's at. I would definitely recommend spending some money on some great monitors. Not just some good ones, but if you have a few bucks, get the best monitors you can afford. And then go build your own bass traps. Once again, I've got a video on that. Can't recommend that enough. It definitely solved a lot of the low-end problems out in my live room when it came to amps and drums and that kind of thing. Just tighten up the low end. You can really crank the bass up on the guitar amps now and it doesn't turn into muddy shit like it used to. Seriously made my life a whole lot easier. And you can build those for about $40 each. Can't recommend them enough.
I've heard of a few studio owners with large format mixers like Neves and SSL say that they honestly don't use the desk that much and they keep it because it looks badass and gets them business. Fair play if you can afford the electricity bill.
Yeah, the electricity bills on those old SSL consoles aren't exactly cheap. Here's the thing, if you're going into a studio to record and they've got one of those consoles, ask them, will we be actually mixing through this or is this just a prop? That being said, I'd love to try a Neve Genesis someday. That might be really fucking cool. I don't know, guys. What do you think?
So true. I had an Avalon in my studio that only had the lights turned on once. No mics plugged in. The vocalist was like, "You using that?" and points to it. And I said, "Yeah." And he says, "This shit sounds beautiful." It was not even working. LMAO.
Placebo effect, folks. It works, and it works on your clients. So if you're in a situation where somebody's bitching about something in a mix, just move a fader that's not actually attached to anything. How's that? Oh, that's way better. Works every fucking time.
Why is it so fucking hard to tell a drummer to play less? It's like shaming their whole family and ancestors. If you ask me, it is groove over quantity.
Fabio, I know exactly what you're talking about. I used to be in a band with a guy here in town, and we'd have a nice quiet passage in the song to bring it down a little bit, and he's ting, 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 all over his fucking cymbals. It was like, for the love of Crom, will you shut the fuck up? You don't have to fucking jizz all over every fucking minute and second of the fucking song. Seriously, a little bit of restraint goes a long fucking way. Seriously, guys, back off when the song backs off. You don't have to play all out all the time. Dynamics, folks, they really do work. Try it out sometime.
This problem is bigger than just you individually. It isn't just me. You realize that a lot of your audience is American, right? We don't do thinking well about the well-being of others too well down here.
And that's just how Jesus intended it. All right, everybody, that's it for this episode. Thanks so much for watching, subscribing, all that good stuff. I want to hear from you, especially if you've got a question about recording and mixing. I want to help you guys out to the best of my ability, especially considering my 20 plus years of working with local bands. Chances are you're probably working with local bands. Once again, the Pro Mix Academy summer sale ends tomorrow, so grab the Ultimate Rock Mixing Bundle or the Everything Bundle. Sale only comes up once a year. It's got some absolutely unbeatable deals, and it's got some absolutely incredible courses like the Ultimate Reaper Guide, Guitar Tone Mastery, and Total Heavy Guitar, all part of the Ultimate Rock Mixing Bundle. Sale's only going to be around for a couple more days, then it is over, like this episode. Take it easy. I'll see you next time.